Okay, so what you're looking at here is actually the next page of the course. And will be how you access the Nearpod and the drawing area so that you can draw your initial thinking model. This is what we would ask students to do after they see a phenomenon, is just put something down on paper. And then remember, when we talk about models, we encourage our students to make sure they label, they describe, they explain in the model, and that make predictions even. So first thing you do is type in your name here and then hit preview. This is obviously too small to work in this area, so what you're going to do is click right here to maximize the window for Nearpod. So now that you've double clicked on the arrows, you can see this view is maximized, and this is our drawing surface. Up here there's a prompt to remind you what you're doing and why you're doing it, to draw a model explaining why the container looked like it did after it was steam cleaned and then sealed closed. A reminder here, models have labels, explanations, and predictions, so be sure to include those in your drawing. And when you're finished, before you click on submit, I have an extra step that I'd like to show you how to save this model as an image on your computer for further reference. Here are some of the tools you're going to utilize. Of course, this is your drawing utensil, and you can change the color of it. And since we have a black collapsed container, I'm going to draw an amazing collapsed container. I know, that's amazing. If for some reason you want to use highlighter, this is your highlighter, and you can see that it just kind of lightly comes in. You're definitely going to want to add some text, I'm sure, to your model for some labeling and explanation. This is how you adjust the size of the text. Of course, this is the different color of the text, and you would just type in the text box anything you want, and this manipulates the size of the box, how far over or across, and then if you don't like its location, you can put it down here, wherever you'd like. This feature here is to insert a picture, which I don't think we would have as necessary in this particular model. But here we have an eraser, because we make mistakes. And this is adjusting the size of the eraser. Maybe we don't want the highlighter there after all. Now, that's the hard way to do it, but there's also a last step. I just undid my last step, and I can undo the move of the text, and then I can eventually unmove, and I can move forward like, oh wait, I went too far. I can actually undo my undo. Does this make sense? I hope it does. Anyways, that is how you manipulate this, and simply we just need simple drawings, labeling the best of your ability. I'm using a mouse, and I know there's limitations on that. If you use a touch pad on a laptop, that's going to be even more challenging, I understand. Do the best that you can. That's why this is also going to include you to explain your model. Right here, if you wanted to, you can erase everything all at once. And right here locks in your picture before you hit submit. Before you hit submit, I want you to save your model as an image on your computer. So on the bottom left of your computer, if you've never utilized the snipping tool, you can find it by doing a search in this right here. And then it will pull up on the left hand side, which it automatically is pulling up here for me. And then you'll click on snipping tool. What you'll get is something that looks like this, and then you'll want new. So you'll see it kind of gray scales a little bit, gets dimmer, and then I have these cross bars, crosshairs, and what I'll do is I will highlight everything that I want in my image, and once I capture this is like a new way of doing a screenshot. It's actually not new, but if you've never seen this, and now I have this as an image. Then you click Save This Snip. And then you'll need to know where you're going to place this and give it a name that you can easily retrieve. This is my Nearpod Model 1, and then click Save. Then minimize your snipping, and then go ahead and click Submit to send this to Nearpod land, where I'm going to get a notification that you have done your model. So to return back to the Canvas course, which you actually never left, just minimize this, and there you are, you're back at it. And then go ahead and click Next to get to the next page. The next page here shows you, in the discussion below, prepare an explanation of what your initial model was, showing to explain why your container collapsed. And make sure you include some questions, like think like a student. Student is not going to understand or get everything, so they're going to want to ask some questions, and we're going to want to capture those from students. And remember, you're wearing your student hat, so make sure that you capture what they may say, even if it's a large misconception, or even if it's spot on scientifically accurate, because you tend to teach some students with a lot of background in this particular area. Go ahead and be true to what your students would do. So remember, when you get to this point, if you haven't seen any, you won't see replies until you do your own. So you click on reply. Here's the step I'd like you to include. Bottom left of the reply, there's attach. Choose file, and then you have to locate the file and where you put it. So here's my Nearpod file 1. Double clicked on there. Now it's actually attached to this reply. You may want to go ahead and maybe take a photo of this model on your computer, or I'm sorry, not computer, you did. Put it on your phone so you have an easy access look at it while you type in your explanation. You'd want to do your student explanation of the model here and type it all out. And remember to add questions and whatever, but then when you hit post reply, all we will see, and well, first of all, others won't see it until they do their own, but all they'll see is the explanation and then this. They don't actually get to see your model unless they click on it. So we're going to see explanations of each other, and then if we want to look at each other's models, we can. Keeping in mind, we're all doing the best we can with the Nearpod drawing, and I know mine is amazing and I've set the bar high, but do the best you can. And I think this should get you moving forward and seeing how important the initial thinking model is with student explanation. This is a way we can do this online in an online format. This is always best with some chart paper and face-to-face and having students present out. But this is an approach we could do online, but creating it on a canvas just like this. So anyways, I hope you enjoy this step. I hope you don't find it to be too technically difficult. If there is some reason you're having major difficulty uploading your model, don't worry about it. Go ahead and put your explanation and make some note that you're having a lot of difficulty uploading the image, and we'll be forgiving. But let's try and give this a shot. It'll be amazing to see in the discussion everybody's student hat explanation of initial thinking of this phenomenon.